There we go. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode of NAISB. I'm former very average punter at Weber International, Reagan Harrell. That is former All-American shortstop at Midland University. Go Warriors, both sides. Carly Fitzer, another road game for me. I am with my dad in his freaking awesome RV, and we're going fishing in the morning. Little father-son bonding. What's better than that, Carly? Come on.
Man, I don't know. Maybe father-daughter bonding. I don't know.
I guess
What
we'll
are you
never
what are you
know.
fishing for?
Bass. We're some
Nice.
big old bass. The last time, I'm not saying where we're going, but last time we went there, I caught my PB, a 9 pound, 10 ounce Mondo. Ain't pretty good
Dude,
stuff.
dude, I came out the womb that size.
Catching little baby Carlies out there in Florida. We got donkeys.
Surprise it didn't break your rod.
They don't have y'all don't have those kind of bass in Nebraska, Carly, but what you do have is a team in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Congratulations. We
thank
talk
you.
about it.
Thank
We talk
you.
about it a little bit at the end of the interview today, which, by the way, we should probably talk about that. Wendy Hogue for William
Awesome. The
Carey.
pioneer woman of softball in Mississippi.
Yes, just incredible. Her little love triangle with the three schools. She was, hey, it was awesome. I think it ended up being like a 48 minute long interview. So great stuff from her. Great interview. Yeah, I'm on the road game. Not like that. Sometimes we go camping, even though there's a nice RV, don't really have Wi-Fi. So I'm doing it off my phone. So apologies. Honestly, the video for me may look better than on my laptop, but apologies if the audio's not as great on my end, but whatever. Carly, I got to meet some cool people today.
I saw that and I'm a little bit jealous if I'm
It's fair.
telling
It's
the truth
fair.
here.
It's fair. Got to meet some former SEC softball legends. Kelly Crushman, of course, Alabama, USA softball, and Aaliyah Andrews. Got to do a little work over with USA softball. Thank you, Matt Cornegie, having me out there and do a little something. Hey, we're growing the game. We're growing the
Growing the
game.
game, man.
Hey, we gotta. Hey, we just talked about with Jim Carr. You know, yap about this and that, and talk to the high school, talk to the young kids about NAI softball. Yeah, it was great. Great competition. There was like a 14-year-old there, Carly, humming in at about 61. I'm like, what?
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Ooh.
you're gonna make
You're a
it, kid.
patriot.
you're, you're gonna make it, kid. Get ready to rock that red, white, and blue, sister. But no, it was great stuff. About like 100 kids, so average size camp. It was fun. And then, of course, I mean, just watching um, that group of Olympians had oh my gosh, Tyler. I'm forgetting his last name. Had him on from the men's national team. It was fun. It was good stuff. But Carly, we certainly have plenty of NAI softball to talk about. But before we do it, one got to talk about our friends in Baldwin City, Kansas. Jaw Bats, y'all know them, y'all love them. Go to jawbats.com, get your new bat, sliding mitt, sliding glove, whatever the kids call it nowadays. All the new drip. Go to jawbats.com, use code NAISB20. That's the name of the podcast right here on the Polo, NAISB20 for 20% off of your order. And before we talk about NAI softball, I do want to talk about a little bit more with you, Carly, because March Madness has been insane. It has been an
Love it.
incredible first weekend. Nebraska, obviously, one of the big stories. As our local Nebraska fan on the podcast, how are you feeling?
Dude, as a Husker fan who has unfortunately witnessed so much heartbreak, if that Vandy ball would have gone in last night, dude, I don't I wouldn't have been surprised. That's just the way it is.
Another solo episode for me then.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, you would have had to come on because we would have had to talk about
Had
it.
to rub it in.
That game
No,
was
dude.
insane. And
It's
then
so cool to see how Fred has like done a basically a
yeah,
180 even from last year. I mean, they weren't really anything great last year until they got to the NIT. So it's nice as a Husker fan having another sport get good. We just need football to catch up.
we know, of course, our good friend and former co-host of NAISB, Taylor Thomas. He works at I would be careful. He works at somewhere, a place that sells beverages,
Hmm.
adult beverages,
Hmm.
and he said in Oklahoma City, by the way, and he said he saw plenty of GBR, Big Red Huskers, and they made his
It's
business very
it's
happy. You'll say,
it's
we'll leave it
pretty
at that.
cool to see how well our fans travel. Like
Oh
that's a
yeah,
pretty
it
cool
took
thing.
over.
I saw a tweet that said that there was a 4 p.m. mass yesterday and the priest was just like absolutely dumbfounded. It was like a 700 person mass and it was like 85% Husker red. Can you imagine you're surprised as a priest you walk out to give mass and it's just a sea of red?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, well, we're not going to talk about Georgia losing by 80 to St. Louis. I'm good. I don't
Why
want to talk
not?
about it.
Why not? You
I'm
don't like
good.
that
I'm
guy with the
good. I'm
goggles?
good. College of Idaho, Carly, the college, the Yotes, Al
That's crazy.
Mendiola, and it was bad. What's there to talk about? What is there to talk about? Nothing. It was terrible. It was disgusting. I will talk about one basketball thing, though. I have to give a shout out. I know Mr. Sun Conference, whatever. I don't care. That man is so freaking awesome. Jamin Copeland and the Ave Maria Gyrenes into the Fab Four of the NAI tournament in Municipal Auditorium there in Kansas City. Shout out Ave Maria. Love y'all. Jack Watkins, you are him. I love you. Jack Watkins dropped 30. Carly, he dropped 35. He went 8 from 8 behind the arc against the number
Oh,
one seed. Against the number one, I believe they're the number 2 overall seed in the tournament, the number 1 seed in that quadrant in the quarterfinals to beat Grace. Incredible. They have got Langston in the semifinal tomorrow night or tonight. As if you're watching this on Monday, go Gyrenes. I can be as biased as I want with basketball. So go Ave Maria. Go bring that red. If they win that red banner, Carly, it will be the most excited I've been for a Sun Conference team to win a national championship since Southeastern won baseball in 22 when I first started. That was sick. This would be epic just because all sorts of storylines. If you want more storylines, head over to Urban Edge Network. Go listen to Around the Sun because I'll be talking plenty about it on Around the Sun. But Carly, let's get serious now. College of Idaho, they shocked the
yeah.
NAI softball world this weekend.
They did. They took for Cascade, they played 4 total games, but they count the first 3. So technically speaking, they took 2 of 3.
Yep.
If we're talking in the 4 game series, they took 2 of 4. So I think yeah, Friday they kicked it off. They took both games. They took game one 8-7 in a thrilling way. Top of the we posted on our socials. So if you
Yeah.
want to actually see the footage of it, head on over to our socials.
I've been trying to do a
And we've
much
got some
better
clips of it.
Yeah, I've been trying to do a much better job of that. Shout out Urban Edge Network. A lot of these games streamed on there for free, so I've made it a lot easier to go back and clip these games. The only problem is I have to clip it like after the game because rewinding's kind of tough on there. Whatever, sure they'll get it cleaned up and all that. No worries. But yeah, we've been trying to do a lot more clipping. But yeah, go ahead, Carly, because that game one was freaking awesome.
Yeah, so top of the seventh, Madeline Powell brings the Yotes within one. She has a 2 run shot, makes it 7-6. Marty Anderson follows suit with a solo shot of her own to tie it up. And then Cameron Ham flies out to center field. Ball goes flying around a little bit, and they score the go-ahead run. Kenneth Watts had a double and 2 RBIs. Madeline Powell, that big 2 RBI home run. She finished 2 for 4. Marty Anderson, 3 for 4, scored 2 runs herself with 2 RBIs and a home run. And then Riley Smith got the win in the circle, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And then game two was just the Yotes absolutely laying down the law. They took it 9-1 in 5 innings, pretty dominant start to finish. Jumped on top early with a 3 run first inning, and then they absolutely busted down the doors in the fourth with 5. They out hit the Mounties 9-3. Madeline Powell and Marty Anderson again dominant at the plate. Both of them 2 for 3. 2 runs for Powell and 1 for Anderson. 2 home runs for Powell and 1 for Anderson. And then Madeline Powell, 7 RBIs of the 9 in the game. Absolutely insane stat line for her. And then Drew Williams earns the win in the circle, complete game, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and strikeouts. And then we get to Saturday where Eastern Oregon, the Mounties find their bats. They absolutely come alive in game three where they win it 12-7. They had 20 hits in just this game alone, powered by a 6 run fourth inning that included 3 separate home runs. Lexi Grumbois had 3 RBIs. Brylan Field 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Emily Berry, a name that we talk about quite a bit over here on the podcast, 3 for 4, a home run, couple RBIs. And then Camille Schmidt's getting the main work, 6 innings, 9 hits, only 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Game four, Eastern Oregon cuts it a little close. They take it though, 9-8, completed the comeback. in the seventh. They scored two in the bottom of the seventh to win it. Hope Burke and Kelly Monaghan were the heroes in the bottom of the seventh. Reagan Clippert, 2 for 3, had a home run, couple RBIs. Kelly Monaghan had 3 RBIs on the day, including a home run. And then Camille Schmitz again got the win, 2 innings this time under her belt, kind of a pitch by committee for the Mounties this game. 3 hits, 3 runs, and then just a walk and a strikeout.
Carly, 2 weeks ago on the NAISB media poll, you voted Eastern Oregon the number one team in the NAI softball world. I have no gripe with that at all.
Hmm.
At the time, I think they ended up being first in our media poll. As you're watching this, maybe our media poll's out. Not sure whenever you're watching this, obviously. But have you submitted your vote yet, or are you doing it after we
I
record?
have not. Yeah, I'm gonna
I
do it
haven't either.
after.
I
I
haven't
I've
either.
been out for 2 weeks or a week, I guess. It's only been a week,
Yeah,
but I gotta catch up on softball world and what's been.
right. Well, here's my question. And I mean, if you don't know, you don't know.
Mhm.
Do you think Eastern Oregon will stay number one in your personal media poll?
If they're not one, they're two.
I have. I'll probably. I don't know because
I'm
I'm
not
with
gonna
you. I still
absolutely
got to put mine in.
drop them. I still gotta figure
I
out what's
just
going
have
on,
to.
but.
I just have. Well, one team I had above them to begin with in my
Mhm.
last media poll, and that's Southeastern. And then I got Oregon Tech. I mean, Oregon Tech, what they just did. I
And
mean,
that's what I mean. Like I'd put
yeah.
Oregon Tech above them if anything, but
I think it's
I mean,
splitting hairs, though. I think they're still top.
yeah,
I think if you have them outside of your top three, I get to really question it. I think, but I mean, we've talked about this though. That's NAI softball this year. You can make a
it
case for
is.
probably 5 or 6 teams to be the number one team in the country right now.
Absolutely. And hats off to the Yotes. I mean, they've pushed games with
Yeah,
Oregon
yeah,
Tech. They pushed games with Southern
with Eastern.
Oregon, and they
Yeah,
took games from Eastern. I mean, they're just a
yeah,
sneaky good team where unfortunately there's these 3 Oregon teams that just
yeah.
are so stinking good.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a war. I'm not going to knock them too much for those losses against College of Idaho at all. Definitely credit College of Idaho. I know for a fact
Absolutely.
I did, and I'll admit this. 2 weeks ago, I did not put them in my top 25. I know for a fact they will be one of the 25 teams I put on a ballot tonight.
Hmm.
But Carly team, we just talked about. We know they'll be off our board pretty quick when we start doing our ballots. Oregon Tech, great weekend for Coach Greg Stewart, and what might be the best Oregon Tech team we've seen at least halfway through the year.
Yeah, they took all 4 from UBC. They took 3 of the series. You know how it goes. I just talked about it.
Yep.
Game one, 4-0. Game two was a little bit of a challenge there for the Owls. It was a 9 inning game for them. Brooklyn Luce would play the hero with a solo go-ahead shot in the top of the ninth to put the Owls on top. That was her solo hit of the day and an RBI for her. Nita Cook 2 for 3. Addison Katchnick 2 for 4 with a double and the other contributing RBI. And then Christine Schmidt, a pitcher who's been phenomenal for the Owls this year, got the win, came in for 4 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the rest of the two for the Owls were pretty smooth sailing. Game three, 9-1, and then game four, 7-2.
Yeah, you mentioned Kristen Schmidt there, Carly. She also was phenomenal in that first game for Oregon Tech, going the distance, one hit, giving up pretty sure as well. I saw in the box score. She was incredible. We've made the joke before, but they've gone from Casey Schmidt to Kristen Schmidt, no relation, and they just keep on rolling. Carly, a team that needed a bounce back series win, and they certainly got it in a big way. LSU Alexandria, number 20 ranked team in the country. The Generals take 2 of 3 from number 21 Texas A&M Texarkana in a big Red River Athletic Conference series there, and it's just a straight 3. It did not start off good for LSUA. It was scoreless through 3 in game 1, and then LSUA was able to build up a 4-2 lead, and then in the 6th inning, the Eagles would drop a 7th spot, highlighted by a Madison Ruiz grand slam. 3 for 3, 5 RBIs. That's not a bad day at the ballpark, is it, Carly?
That will play. It's no Madison Powell, but I mean, I'll take a grand salami any day.
Absolutely. LSUA would take game two of that doubleheader 9-4, evening the series. They would also come from behind, and they use a little bit of small ball, the Generals. You usually see them knocking it out of the park, which they did with Caitlin Dunbar a little bit later on. But they scored five just with some singles, pass ball in the fifth to take a 7-4 lead. Dunbar hit a no doubter in the sixth to make it 9-4. And then game three was all LSUA. We're not going to have a comeback like we did in the first two games. It was 5-0 through three. Dunbar tripled to score a pair. Jillian Howell would bring her in, and that would secure the series, making it 8-1. Texarkana would add a couple late, but yeah, 8-3. Generals win. Laney Bailey, 6 innings, 2 earned runs for LSUA to pick up 2-3. And speaking of another team picking up a big 2-3, Lindsay Wilson Blue Raiders. Hey, no NAISB curse this year. It's official because we had because Coach Cal, I think we had a little bit of problem with that last year, Carly, maybe a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem anyways. Coach Cal and the Blue Raiders taking care of that, picking up 2-3 against the Cumberland's Patriots.
Yeah, our friends over in the Mid-South seem to be sitting on top for now. They took game one 4-3. Lindsey Wilson jumped ahead in the fifth. They had a 3-run inning. Little bit stumble there by the Pats defense. They had 3 errors, but it is what it is. Emerson McInnes, 1 for 3, had an RBI. Caden Rogers, 2 for 4, RBI. Sam Hartman, 2 for 4, RBI, and Natalie Wandry, RBI. So a Blue Raider lineup that can get you just about anywhere. Caden Murray has been a rock star for them in the circle. Complete game, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. And then we head over to game two. They take it 4-2. Caden Rogers again, 2 for 3, a double and an RBI. Summer Rae with a home run and 2 RBIs. Aubrey Miller contributes an RBI. And then Grace Adams this time getting the work and the win in the circle. 4 1/3, 3 hits, an earned run, and a walk. Game three wrapped up a few hours ago today, if you're listening, yesterday, whatever. 2-1. This one, the Pats took it. It was tied 1-1 after two, and then the Pats would bring it one across in the bottom of the seventh, courtesy of some small ball from Anaya White. She lays down a beautiful bunt. Ball gets tossed around, and they score what would be the game-winning run. So Malia Clinton contributed that other RBI for the Pats with a double of her own. And then Jessica Cord had the complete game win, 5 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Say a 4-3, 4-2, 2-1. That's just a great
That's good
softball series.
softball.
That's just a great series. But I tell you what was so much fun to watch. I had so much fun Friday and Saturday, Carly, just having the quad box on for March Madness, my laptop and phone on games. I got to just kind of relax a little bit and watch a ton of sports. It was awesome. I tell you what, that Grandview, Missouri Baptist doubleheader was incredible. Phenomenal
Yeah.
games. Phenomenal games. I text Coach Yasinich, Coach Ligriff for those two programs. Listen, gentlemen, that's some phenomenal softball. That was good. I mean, the two teams split 4-2 victories, one aside. Game one, Missouri Baptist wins at 4-2. Grandview actually led 2-1 heading into the sixth. It's a great pitchers duel with Madeline Waldorf and Kaylee Brake. But in that sixth inning, Miranda Miranda Ledson had a go-ahead 3-run home run in the sixth. I didn't have the volume up on it. I was a little confused on what may have happened. Carly, I think it may have been like a situation where it was a close, maybe fair foul ball down the left field line. Mobat thinks it was
Okay.
fair. I think Grandview, Missouri Baptist fans, let me know if I'm misspeaking there, but I think it looked like that. Obviously, Miranda said, "Don't worry, we'll hit it over the fence. Don't have to worry about it at all." That was epic. Big shout out, Kaylee Bray, complete game in the circle, just giving up the 2 runs. And then 4-2, Grandview wins game two. Gabby Tabor would strike first with a solo shot in the second. Allison Ligriff would tie it up at 2 with a 2-run shot in the fifth. And then Lark Drake, a name we have not said before on the podcast, but Miss Drake steps up
Yeah.
off of the bench in the sixth, drives in a pair to take a 4-2 lead. I mean, shout out Coach Lou A. Yasinich, knowing all the right strings to pull us what got him to the World Series a year ago. And that's why we're not counting the Grandview Vikings out by any stretch of the imagination in 2026. Claire Lennon shut the door in the sixth and seventh, the 2 1/3 innings. She came in the fifth, able to get the last 7 outs, good stuff from her out of the bullpen, and just a really good Heart of America doubleheader, Carly.
Yeah. I mean, and that's that conference that we talk about probably just about every episode where we
Yes.
don't know who's going to be at the top at the end.
Yeah. Carly, we got a couple of good midweek games. The Classic and the Crossroads, Iowa, Indiana Wesleyan against Marion on Tuesday at 3 and 5. And then Sun Conference has got midweek series. St. Thomas, number 11 team in the country, takes on the current number 6 team in the country, the Southeastern Fire, at 4 o'clock Tuesday and 1 and 3 on Wednesday. I will be there for all of those games. I'm very,
Woo.
very excited. I'm going to be doing a Sun Conference coverage, so make sure you go follow it, Sun Conference. But I'll be reposted into NAISB as well. So I love being able to
He's
be on
double
the Sun.
dipping.
Yeah, just be in the Sun Conference account, go over and just repost the ISB account, go over to my personal account and like it, go over to the Weber football account, like it, and whatever. Got way too many logins. Also, Central Methodist taking on Columbia. I'd like to highlight that one. Carly, 1
Yeah,
and 3
Columbia's a
Central
sneaky
time.
team.
Sure, absolutely. And it could be a look ahead spot because Central Methodist does have Missouri Baptist later on this weekend. All right, Carly, you got anything else besides GBR? Or are you ready to send it over to Coach Wendy Hogue?
Listen here, Skurs by 90. It's good to be back. Watch some dang softball this week.
Great message. Here is William Carey's softball coach, Wendy Hogue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send you on into the week with a very, very, very special guest. It is Coach Wendy Hogue of William Carey Crusaders. Coach, how we doing in Hattiesburg, Mississippi today?
You know what? Can't complain. We got some blue skies out there, and it's a beautiful day in Hattiesburg. Glad to be on with you guys.
I love it. Well, I know Carly and I are super excited to get talk with you today. Y'all are absolutely rolling in the Southern States as you're talking about a little bit of a road game, but we're going to battle through it. We're going to get through it. We're going to get some dubs up on the board. Ain't that right, Coach?
That's right. That's right. We're going to get it done.
Well, Coach, I'll start things off for us here today. Speaking of William Carey softball and, kind of just where the programs come from, you were part of that inaugural softball team at William Carey. What led you to take a chance on joining, a brand new team? And can you speak on what that experience was like for you as a player?
Oh, wow. Gosh, how long do we have here?
All
no.
day.
As long as you need.
Oh, look, so 1995 was the first year. That was a long time ago for William Carey softball. And let me tell you, I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible because there's so many great memories. I played 2 years at it was Jones Junior College at the time, but I graduated there in 1994. Graduated on a Saturday, and then at midnight that night, I went to work for the United States Postal Service. So I was working full time. I was engaged to be married to a military guy. He was a helicopter pilot, just a great guy. And I thought that was it for me. I thought, 2 years of junior college ball, it was slow pitch at the time. And I was working full time for the Postal Service. And then in January, I got a call. January, before the season starts in February. Keep that in mind. So in January, I got a call from a former teammate of mine. And she said her name was Wendy also. So she went by Wilk and I was called Clark. That was my name. She said, Clark. She said, you got to come see this. She said, William Carey has a new softball team. She said, and you can steal. And you guys, I was so excited because I could run a little bit. I was okay offensively and defensively, but let me get on those bases. And speed was what I felt really comfortable with. She said, you got to come see. You got to come see. And so I got off work. I worked the night shift, and then I stayed over. I was actually a window clerk as well. So just working. Got off work that day, drove over to the Timberton softball complex to watch William Carey softball practice. And it was love at first sight. I've never had that with a man. Everybody says love at first sight. When I saw that, them playing a game and the way they pitched and all, it was unbelievable. It was absolutely love at first sight. I'd had an opportunity to go on the Carey from Jones, but it was a club team then, and it was slow pitch. And again, I had a job with the Postal Service and other plans. But once I saw that, I just knew. I said, man, I got to be a part of this if the good Lord allows. So the next day, it was actually that night at midnight, I went in and I turned in my 2 weeks notice with the post office. After a month or so, we decided to call off the engagement, and my life has changed tremendously since then. The first fast pitch game I played in. So that February, I'd been with the team, I don't know, about 4 weeks. And I remember Belhaven was the very first game I played. And it was the first game I saw, and I was just in love with it. So being a part of that team, being a part of something, and we didn't have fast pitch in this area. So, it was new to everyone. Our coach was Glenn Moore, who's now at Baylor University. He's been out coaching the Bears for a long time, but he was phenomenal. And he made every day, every situation, you felt like, man, it was the bottom of the seventh. The bases were loaded and you were up and you had an opportunity to win the World Series. And it was just so much fun to be a part of something so special. Didn't realize it at the time. We knew how much fun it was. We knew how special it was, but I didn't realize that was going to be my future. I didn't realize that the game of fast pitch softball is what the Lord was going to allow me to use as a platform for him. So that 1995 season was pretty special at William Carey, and it was fun to be a part of.
Did you get to steal some bases?
I did. I set a little record. Now it was broken.
Just a little something.
10 or 12 years later, but I did okay.
How many?
Well, now come on now. We didn't play but 22 games that year, but I had 24 stolen bases.
Hey, that's still good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of some Riley Sanders back at Southeastern as far as on pace. If you would have gotten to play a full 50.
I know it.
That's right.
I know it. How about that? These girls these days, they just don't get it. How about,
I know. It says you got to make the most of your opportunity. It's like, imagine only getting to play like half of your conference schedule and trying to get all your stats in.
Yes.
Well, Coach, it's funny because you mentioned you got to William Carey and you fell in love with it there. It's similar. We talked the other day. I got up to Columbus, Georgia in 2022 and fell in love with softball myself. Since that moment when you fell in love with William Carey softball, can you talk a little bit about how the game of softball and NAI softball specifically has evolved in a whole?
Absolutely. Well, that particular year and really the next year as well, we played everyone. There weren't a ton of softball teams. I remember playing Auburn University. I remember Coach Moore was so excited that we beat them, and I was from a small town. Who's Auburn University, but so we were able to play Auburn. We played West Alabama. We played West Florida. We played Delta State. We played Mississippi College. The only teams that I remember being rivals, and now I understand it's because they were NAI, was Mobile and Belhaven, and so I guess one of the ways that it has evolved is just there are so many teams now. Almost every university has a softball team. William Carey wouldn't be playing Auburn, in the spring right now, and even some of those Mississippi teams I just mentioned. NCAA has expanded so much, but the NAI is just it's just really, really grown. The thing that's the same, though, is really cool because competition's competition. No matter what, the game of softball is the game. And, I mean, you just got to show up and compete. And I love how NAI softball it's just so genuine, I feel like as the game has evolved, I had a little stint in the NCAA. I don't know I think we may hit on that a little bit later. But it's just, and it's great. And hey, hats off to them. But I just feel like softball at its truest at the next level is NAI because you don't have all of the distractions. Now, there's the opportunity for them to be there, but I think that it's still grounded enough. I think the NAI, the leadership is grounded enough. And there's just a tradition and a history of being grounded and just being pure and genuine. So I love it. So although we've evolved tremendously, I still think that love for the game and that back to basics mentality, it's there in the NAIA.
Well, you're doing a great job of following up Mr. President Jim Carr on our last episode. But that's some of the stuff he hit on was making sure that we keep that in the NAI to be the alternative for college athletics to, the right way to play. That's the motto they've been going for the last year plus now. And they've done a great job of getting it out there and, just taking that next step in which is marketing it to the youth groups, the high schoolers. I was over at Clearwater doing something with USA softball and asking a couple girls like, you know what the NAI is? I'm like, let me tell you something. Not everybody's going.
Hey, I didn't know what it was till my senior year of high school.
I didn't
How
know until I
awesome.
was a sophomore in college. I mean, it takes
Yeah. I tell you what, it gives you the opportunity to be, a lot of programs at every level put person over athlete. But I don't know that many institutions other than the NAIA stress that. And like you say, you champions a character and developing you as a human before the athletic side. And you have an opportunity to be involved in other aspects of college life. And like you said, I do feel like it's the right way to play NAIA softball.
1000%. Well, Coach, you hinted to my next question. You kind of set me up perfectly. You had your little stint there at Southern Miss a couple years, and then you stepped down to spend some time with family, and then you eventually found your way back to William Carey. So, what about the game of softball that brought you back to coaching, and just William Carey as well?
Well, William Carey is well. First, let me say that every step of my professional career, I feel like God just lays the plan out. Sometimes I'm kind of hard headed and don't listen as well as I should. But I'll try to make this long one really quick. You'll find I tend to ramble and I love to talk. Very passionate about the game.
Hey,
of
we
softball.
like that.
So I was once I graduated William Carey, I went to work at Petal High School. It's a school here actually in the city that I live in now. Didn't have fast pitch softball. Again, well, it was new to the area. And so I remember having the opportunity. The athletic director came to me after coaching there for 2 years. He said, slow pitch. He said, hey, what do you think about starting a fast pitch team? I said, oh my gosh, I would love it. This area would love it. It's great. So we did. So in 2000 was the first year for Petal softball. And I was fortunate enough to be the coach, which was for me, it was such a great, hey, I've been there, done that. I was a part of the first team at William Carey. And I remember what it felt like and so much pride. And I remember how the coach made it feel like, man, what a special game. And we got the community involved. And I had an opportunity very shortly after playing to do that same thing, in my hometown. So we started at Petal. I actually coached the fast pitch there for 4 years, and we did all right. We made playoffs each year. We had to play some teams from the coast and up north. And I remember after my second year there, I got a call from the legendary Coach Knight, he's retiring, basketball coach, former athletic director at William Carey. And he said, hey, Wendy, he said, why don't you come on back and coach our team? We're looking for a new coach. And I said, oh, coach, I said, I am not ready to coach college softball. I've only got a couple years behind me. I said, I love it. I said, let me get a little more established, and I would love to come back. So then the very next year, I got a call, and he said, hey, look, I know you turned us down as head coach last year. He said, what about being an assistant coach? He said, that way you can get your feet wet. But then he told me what it paid. I was recently married. I said, it's just not the time, coach, just not the time. He called the third year in a row, Carly, and I was actually expecting my daughter, Kinley. And I said, coach, I just can't make a change right now. I'm expecting. And I remember my husband saying, that's it. That's 3 strikes. You're out. You're never going to coach college softball. And I said, and you know what? If I don't, I'm perfectly fine where I am. The next year rolls around and I knew it. You know how you just know something? I remember about halfway through that season, I just remember telling my assistant coach, I was talking as if I was going to be at William Carey next year. And I just remember him thinking, wait, what are you talking? I said, I just have a feeling I'm going to be at William Carey. It's got a call. Wow. How crazy was that? Coach Knight was like, hey, is it about time? And I said, you know what? It is. And so it worked out. So in May of 2004, I left Petal, went to William Carey, was there 10 years. And during that 10 years, it was almost like it was happening again, Reagan and Carly. It was a brand new, the year before I got there, they were 2-38. So it was almost like, and the president said, hey, look, why don't we just do away with softball for a year? Let's give you some time to recruit, get a team in here. So it was almost like we were starting over again. So this was the third time that I've been in this situation. We didn't take a year. I went ahead that year because I felt like the young ladies who were there deserved, to be able to play. Those seniors deserved a senior year. So we played that year. We won 14 games, and everybody in Hattiesburg thought we were going to the World Series. So that was great. So it was there a few years. We had quite a bit of success. Craig Fletcher, phenomenal. He came over, and I think we'll get to talk about him in just a little bit. So, and we were able to recruit and get some good kids in there, and had an opportunity to move to Southern Miss pretty quickly into the William Carey tenure, and just didn't want to do it. Just said, nah, this is where I want to be. Got the second call from Southern Miss a few years later. And thought, you know what? What's going on here, God? So I actually did go interview that time, and it's a great place. I mean, but I was never one to think, I got to do Division I. I just wanted to coach softball. I just wanted to be around young women. I just wanted them to fall in love with the game, and I wanted the game to be able to do for them what it had done for me and for so many of my teammates. So went over to Southern Miss, talked with them for a while, came back, but anyway, just wasn't right. I remember telling the athletic director, hey, look, William Carey's where I belong. That's me. That's who I am. It's the school that built me. Thank you for the opportunity. And I left. Guys, you're not going to believe me, but 2 years later,
again.
I remember God saying, hey, look, I'm going to let you go back to William Carey right now, but get your mind right. I got some other work for you to do. And so in 2014, we made the World Series run, played for the national championship, did some really good things. Athletic director at Southern Miss, Bill McGillis, wonderful man. He called and he said, hey, you've turned us down twice. What do we have to do to get a yes this time? And I remember thinking, oh gosh, I've got to go. God, please don't make me go. This is where we had an All-American pitcher coming in who's now an assistant coach for us. And that's all we needed. We needed one more pitcher to win the national championship. Because, man, we had the core of our team coming back. And I just thought, please, I was almost begging, please don't make me go, please. And I remember talking with a coaching friend of mine, Terry McCormick, a longtime coach at University of Mobile, excellent coach. And I just told her, I said, look, I just don't want to. I said, William Carey's my comfort zone. And I remember, and I'm a strong believer. I hope you guys are okay with me talking about that. But I remember her saying, she said, Wendy, she said, where would we be if Jesus hadn't left his comfort zone? She said, you can't stay at Carey just because it's your comfort zone if you say you're in it for his work. And I thought, wow, okay, to the top. Here we go, Southern Miss, So went to Southern Miss, was there 5 years. It was hard. It was hard leaving Carey. It was hard leaving that group. But again, now I was on the fourth time. Southern Miss had struggled for quite a few years, had not had a winning season. And I think it had been a dozen years before we got in there. And then we were able to do some really good things. In year 2, we won a share of the conference championship. And everyone in the town was just really excited about the game of softball. We went on to, I was there 5 years. We had 3 winning seasons, had some 30+ win seasons. But I knew going into my last year, I told administration, I said, hey, look, my daughter was, she was 10 when I came. She could barely ride in the front seat. Now she's almost driving. She's actually being recruited. I've never seen her play a game because I'm always on the road. Just NCAA is so different. You're just going all the time. And I had a little girl and I had a little boy, and he had some health issues. And I just remember telling administration, hey, look, this is going to be it. I'm not going to tell the girls. I'm going to be all in. I'm going to recruit. I'm going to do everything that needs to be done. We're going to have a strong year, and it's going to, and, so anyway, that was it. They I think they thought I was leveraging for more money. It was 5th year. It was a contract year, and I said, no, I'm serious. I'm really walking away. And I was like, you can't do it. And but I did. And I didn't know where I was going. I just knew that I wanted to be able to spend time with my kids. Like I said, my daughter was in high school playing ball at the time. My son had quite a few health issues at the time. He was in 1st grade. Mom was gone all the time. And the toughest thing, I remember FaceTiming with him and him going through his little 1st grade workbook. And I saw on page it says, I love mom. Keaton loves mom. I miss mom. And I thought, and it was the first time in all my years of coaching that I had that mom guilt. So that's, again, I knew that God, he will grant you the desires of your heart if they are in line with his will. So walking away from Southern Miss, even though people thought that was crazy, that was, career suicide, I just thought, this is what I've got to do. Ended up going to back to Petal High School. Guess what? That's the program that I started back in
It's just a
2000.
love triangle.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, Megan. And so being able to go back there, my kids were able to come over to the district, and I got to not only watch my kid play, but I got to coach Kinley her sophomore, junior, and senior year in high school. We fooled around and won a state championship the senior year, and it was just it was great. It was just won the state championship on the field we were playing at Southern Miss facility. It was just phenomenal. Just everywhere you look, it's just got Jesus drops all over it, So then Kinley graduates in 2022, and I thought, well, if I'm going to leave Southern Miss to where if I'm leaving the game so I can watch her, I can't continue to coach high school ball if she's going to coach college, if she's going to play college ball. I didn't think it was right to go back to William Carey. Craig Fletcher was there. He was doing a wonderful job. So I thought my days coaching softball were over. I went into administration, full-time administration, was able to see her play quite a few games. It was cool from the mom side, watching the struggles, watching the, celebrating the highs and then being there through the lows. And then what do you know? 3 years later, her senior year, and I've got an opportunity to get back. And I thought, you know what? It's now or never. Why not? Thanks, God. So now I get to do life daily with 22 young women, and one of them being my daughter, who's about to enter the professional world, And so, man, isn't the game of softball so great? Man,
it's crazy.
So that's why William Carey.
Everybody's got their own little story, and it's great. It's not just softball, but across sports in general. But I do find it in softball specifically, it is really incredible how things can just connect. I want to talk about Craig Fletcher in just a moment, but I wanted to hit on something you mentioned there. That first time when you saw your son writing, "I love mom, I miss mom," all that in the margins, you had that mom guilt. Something I haven't really thought that much about. As a young person, I'm engaged. I don't have any kids. At least I know about.
You got Marsh.
I do have Marsh. And I do get guilty about when I leave Marsh sometimes. But seriously, the mom guilt or the dad guilt, the parent guilt in coaching has got to be something that eats away, especially maybe at younger coaches or someone going through it for the first time. What's your advice to younger coaches who may be going through that right now?
Oh gosh, involve your kids. I mean, when my kids loved it. When I was at William, Kinley learned to walk on the softball field. The first 10 years of her life, where she thought the players on our team were her friends that just happened to be on mom's softball team too. So it was just, she was so involved. And let me point this out. I never had that mom guilt until I knew that's how I knew it was time to walk away. I feel like as long as you're in it and you're doing the will of the Father who's given you that platform. And then that's how I knew it was time to do something different with the mom guilt. But the way that I've talked with coaches in high school, I've talked with other college coaches, I said, you just have to involve them. It can't be, this is my work, because if it's work, you're probably in it for the wrong reason anyway. This is what I get to do. And then your family should be able to do that and enjoy that with you. And when they are, you don't have that mom guilt. I remember missing Kinley's kindergarten graduation because we had made it to the Final Four at the World Series. And I remember calling and saying, Kinley, I'm so sorry. And she said, Mom, that's what she said. She calls my mom grandkitties. She said, grandkitties can be here with me. She said, but who's going to coach your girls? And it was just like, there were always this reassurance that, hey, you're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And, but yeah, involve your kids. That would be my advice. Certainly allow them to be a part of it. Yeah.
I love it. Well, going back to Craig Fletcher, he obviously has done a tremendous job. He's who we've known as far long as I've been, and Carly's been involved with NAI softball, and he's done a tremendous job when he was the head coach. Now you're assistant coach. Can you talk a little bit about what Craig Fletcher means to William Carey softball?
Oh man, Craig Fletcher. First of all, he is the most. He's the hardest working human on the planet. I can tell you that, and he is a wonderful man. Craig and I met. 30 years ago, longer than that, because I was 14 years old coaching t-ball, and my younger brother and Craig's son were on the same t-ball team. So we were the two of the three coaches, and that's where I met Craig. Craig is competitive. He is super competitive. He's very humble, and he's in it for the kids. I could tell that when we were coaching 5 and 6 year olds. So then when I got the job at William Carey, Craig was actually working at Petal High School. Imagine that, another connection there. But he was working with the slow pitch team, and I got the job at Carey, and I knew I needed some good help. The first year, didn't have an assistant spot. The second year, had somebody that they felt like I needed. And then that third year, I just said, hey, we got to turn this around. I've got to have somebody who believes like I believe, who works, who's competitive, but who's in it for the kids. And Craig Fletcher is who came to mind. So I remember driving up to his workplace right next to his truck, getting out and going in, and said, Craig, I was just wondering, would you like to come to William Carey? Craig played baseball at William Carey. I said, would you like to come back and coach softball, help me coach softball? And he said, let me talk to Robin and I'll let you know. He went home that night, talked to his wife. Next day he says, yeah, I want to do this. He didn't ask about a salary. He didn't ask about anything. He just came, and man, it was wonderful. So for 8 years, I've had a lot of phenomenal assistant coaches, and we've always had great bonds, but never anybody like Craig Fletcher. With him on first and me on third, we never even had to think. We didn't have to talk about it. It was just it was just great. And then being away from him all those years. And then, he had some great help too. But I remember him saying one time when we were actually talking about me coming back this year, he called and asked me to come back. And he said, look, I've just been pretending for 11 years that you've been on vacation and that you're going to be back soon. He said, I never wanted to be the head coach. He said, I did it. I did a pretty good job at it. And he said, but I'd love for us to get back together. So for William Carey as a whole, as a university, he is a tremendous asset. He is a wonderful man of God, and he is a poster child for the university. But for the softball program, he's the heart and soul. He's always been, he's who's going to have that field looking good. He's the one going to deliver the tough one. We always had this good cop, bad cop. I think he enjoys the bad cop a little more than I do. So he's the one that kind of holds everybody in check, but he is a wonderful man. He and his wife, Robin, have been a tremendous asset to the program. And I think they always will be.
Well, Coach, kind of rewinding back to Kinley, getting to coach her as well. You've seen it from two different perspectives, as a mom view and now as a coach's view. I mean, what's it been like to watch her start her season, especially her senior season, so successfully?
It has been, you want to talk about gifts. That is one, especially as a mom. I mean, I have chills right now thinking about that, because seeing her go through all of the different phases of her college career and the growth. And people say all this, it must be great to coach your daughter. Only because she's playing well. If she wasn't playing well, it would be zero fun. It wouldn't be fun on the field. It wouldn't be. But she, I've always been Coach Hogue on the field. I try not to be tougher on her. I think I probably am, but I try to treat her just like I do everyone else. She played outfield last year. She was one of the outfielders at Carey. She always played shortstop growing up. Her junior year, Craig needed her in the outfield, so he moved her to the outfield. And so this year she said, Coach Hogue, she didn't say mom. She said, Coach Hogue, can I have a shot back on the dirt? I said, absolutely. Come on in. Let's see. And to see her as a coach compete day in and day out for something that I knew she wanted so dearly, not because I was the coach and knew she wanted, but because I was the mom and I'd heard these things. And I just, and for her to win that position again, and then to come out doing so well at that position. Swinging the bat, she was our best hitter in high school, did a lot of really good things. Obviously get to college, struggles just a little bit. And then now she's found her power again. She's just having a good year, and it's fun. And not only is it fun because she's playing well, I love how she leads. She's one of the team leaders, and seeing her connect with the rest of the players and how the team, we got a great group of seniors. We have 6 seniors, and 3 of those seniors have been there all 4 years. So to see Kinley and Albany and Ryan and those other seniors lead that team, not only as a mom, but as a coach, to see them lead so well, I'm pretty proud of that for sure.
Was there a talk? You said she got to call you Coach Hogue, or did she come up with that one?
She just did it, from the time at Petal. Petal is she was at a very small high school, and of course she did well and she played there. But when we moved to Petal, we went from a 2A high school to a 7A high school. So I knew that she was going to have to come in and she wasn't going to be the leadoff and the shortstop because she was the coach's kid. She was going to, so I actually had her on third base, batting down in the order. And my two assistants were like, what's going on? Are you trying to sabotage the team? You know, she's got to do. So again, she earned it. You know, and I think as long as she earns it, then the players can trust me and know that it's not mama ball and, you know, and those things. I mean, if I need to hit for her, I'm going to hit for her. You know, if it's one of those situations where she needs to sit, she's going to sit. So, so that's been, it's been really, really, I'm at a loss for neat. You know, it's been very rewarding to be back out there and for her to play as well as she's playing. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And you touched on those seniors too. I mean, spending all 4 years at that school. I mean, nowadays that's kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, I mean, you've got a heavy upperclassmen lineup through and through, but can you talk about, you know, what this class of juniors has meant and to the William Carey program and just how much of an integral part of the team's success they've been?
Yes. In 28 years of coaching, I've only had 2 years that every upperclassman was a major contributor on the field. Only 2 years. One was a 2022 state championship at Petal High School, and the other is this year at William Carey. And when you have that leadership and your upperclassmen who come in, and it's not just given to them, but they earn that. All of our juniors, we've got 3 transfers that came from winning very, very strong programs here in the Mississippi JUCO Association. They came in, they were leaders on their JUCO team. So they're coming in. They joined another kid. Liz Cross is a junior who has started since day one. You know, her freshman year, she came in with a couple of All-American outfielders. She was the freshman with the junior, 2 other junior outfielders. So she got to play 2 years next to some kids that'll go down in William Carey history books. So she learned from them. And then now for her to be leading with 3 other JUCO transfers who've done a really good job. And then it's Jaden Sawyer and Brooklyn, Montana, both came from Jones College. Jones is going to year in and year out play for championships. CofI Lindsey is who came in. She came in from Pearl River. They're currently ranked number 1 in the country. You know, so these are very competitive. These are young women who knew each other before they came in and they competed against each other. And like you touched on, all those connections. 2 of them were high school teammates. It's just been a crazy fun thing to be a part of, to see those 3 JUCO kids come in with Brooklyn, Jaden, and Caroline team up with Liz in that junior class, and then put those 4 with the 6 seniors that we have. That leadership and knowing that we'll still have a core group after we leave these 6. And man, our freshman and sophomore class, they're learning from some of they're competing. They make us better because they're competing talented. They're talented enough to be out there. Mm-hmm. And so for them to push our upperclassmen, it's just, there's a lot of things working well right now. And if you had to mix up a formula, I think this year's team would be a good one to use as a guide for that. So
I think it's working pretty well.
We're not where we want to be yet for sure, but it's cool to see how the pieces have fit together.
You don't want to be playing your best ball in mid-March. You'll be playing your best ball in mid-May.
Can you look? I need to record that. I need you to tell Craig Fletcher that. No, you're exactly right. That's what we got to do. We're still hitting some, and I'm thankful for the opportunity I hate to lose. I don't mind getting beat, but I hate to lose, right? And so, but sometimes you have to have those struggles to be able to work through them. And like you said, I'd rather have those in February and March than certainly before we get to April and May. So.
Well, Coach, I want to talk a little bit more about Jaden Sawyer because she has stepped up for your team, and she is certainly a contender for NAIA Softball Newcomer of the Year. Can you talk a little bit more about her impact on and off the field for you this year?
Yeah, Jaden is she's a better person than she is a ball player, and I know that's hard to imagine.
One heck of a person.
Wow.
She's a good one. She's such a great communicator. She's a great team player. I told you earlier, she's everyone's biggest fan. She's actually texted me twice since we've been on here, making sure I know what's going on, where she's at, what's going. She's just so well. She does such a good job of making everyone just feel special and communicating. And there's never a doubt where Jaden is and what Jaden is thinking. In the circle, she, we didn't. And I'm going to admit, I hate to admit this, I never saw Jaden pitch. Remember, I was out of the game of softball. I was a high school activities director. I was constantly at an event. I read about Jaden because I followed Jones College because that's where I played. And I love softball. So I knew about Jaden, but I had never seen her pitch. Well, Jaden, she has thoracic outlet syndrome in her arm. And so she didn't get to play the entire fall. She comes in the fall. She can't do anything in the summertime. And I'm like, wow, she's pretty strong, but I never saw her swing the bat. And this is no lie. Easton came out to allow us to demo some bats. And Jaden said, Coach Hogue, can I swing the bat? I said, Jaden, I don't know. And she said, they allow me 10 swings a day. She said, can I please take them? I said, you can 3. I said, you got 3 swings. You guys, we play on a 225-foot field with an 8-foot wall, and her 3 swings, she made them. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, she could
launch them.
Not just but rockets, just. And I could not. I was so excited for her to get in a uniform.
You said you can have all 10.
Yeah. You can do it. Let's take some time. And so then our very last games of the fall, she was released the Friday before we played our last games on a Tuesday. So she threw just very little that Friday. She threw Saturday. She took Sunday off, threw a little on Monday. And I remember my pitching coach, she said, Coach Hogue, she said, you're not going to believe this is unbelievable. She got to pitch 2 innings against Colin, who won the JUCO national championship last year. Anyway, she had 5 strikeouts, and the other girl tipped one, popped up, and the catcher was able to make the play. And so to get that glimpse, and then for her to come in just so hungry, that was 6 months away from the game of softball that she had. And man, when she came in the spring, she was so hungry. We had planned to use her as a closer and a spot pitcher just simply because of the issue that she had with her arm and with her body. But our trainers and our strength guy, Jacob Garrett, hats off to them. They have got her to where she's like, Coach, just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. We're worried about pitching. Like, hey, she's at 100 pitches. Should we shut her down? No, she's got no hitter going. What are you talking about? We're in the 7th inning with a no hitter. She's going to finish this. And so she's just every day she comes out feeling fine. We're still, it's hard not to overuse her. But like I said, with the other staff that we had, she just comes out. And when she's not pitching, she anchors us on first base, and she's going to be a steady in that lineup for us. So she is great. And it's good to see. It's really cool to see the game reward her hard work and her dedication and her communication just for doing all the things the right way. It's been really fun to watch her succeed.
Coach, outside of Hattiesburg, it's not just William Carey having a great year in the southern states. This is my 4th year, Carly's 3rd year covering the NAI. The year before, and of course, 2022 World Series, I went to Mobile as the national runner-up. No, I don't know how strong the conference was before 2023, but it's as strong as it's been in the last 4 years. Obviously, UT Southern really broke on to the scene last year, making it to the final of the Fayette Regional. William Carey, Mobile, Faulkner's looks good. Thomas, on and on throughout the southern states. But 2026, it seems like the entire conference has taken that next step up. But what have you seen in the conference games early on, and what are you expected to see from the SSAC for the remainder of the 2026 season?
Gosh, what I've seen is that anybody can beat anybody. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's competitive. And it's Craig and I were talking about that back in, 10, 15 years ago. The SSAC they dubbed us the SEC of NAI because it was so strong. We had 14 teams. There's only 8 teams at the World Series. One year there were 6 there. One year there were 4 of us there. It was so good. But then it went, everybody started breaking away to different conferences and, going Division II, Division III. But like you said, these last few years, you can see it start competing. And Craig said earlier this season, he said, I feel like our conference is strength-wise getting back to where it was. in 2010, 2011, 2012, when, and I said, I believe it. So we go into it's nothing against these two teams that I'm about to say. It's all respect for them. But you have Abraham Baldwin and Point are right now on paper, they're at the bottom. And I'm telling you, they've got kids. They've got a pitcher who can beat any team. Everybody's got that kid who could sit you down. Everybody's got that hitter who, if you fool around and you pitch to her with somebody on base, can beat you from the top to the bottom. We played Point University this past weekend. They were without their 1 and 2 pitcher due to some injuries from the Mobile series. And let me tell you, they were not a pushover. Can you imagine missing your 1 and 2 pitchers, and they still came out there and competed? So yeah, Mobile's always going to be strong. Mobile and Carey have always been huge rivals. So it doesn't matter if it's who they are. They're in our mind, they're strong, and we're going out to get them. But like you said, UT Southern, they haven't seen them play this year, but obviously I've been following them, and they're doing really well. Did see Faulkner. Faulkner actually played Southeastern on our field. So we had the opportunity to watch both of those teams, and Faulkner is swinging it really, really well. They've got some kids that are coming in and throwing really well for them. And yeah, man, it's just the conference is really strong. But I love it because that makes everybody better. Nobody wants to be in a conference where only 1 or 2 teams are good, or where you're the only good team, because then what prepares you for the postseason? And so I love the respect that our conference is getting, and I love the competitive mindset that every team in our conference has. So it's a lot of fun for sure.
Well, hand up and foot and mouth on us last year, because we were like, we got on here, we were like, I don't know if the Southern States should have 5 teams in the opening round, and we got shut up pretty quick.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, why?
Yeah. Hey, haters gonna hate, right?
Yeah.
No, definitely. That's legitimate, because if people don't see the teams play, you don't know. I had my husband is a pretty competitive guy, and he doesn't understand why there's so many Oregon teams. Like, who do they play? Why are they at the top of the charts? The rankings. Who do they even play? Because he knows how strong the SSAC is. And I said, well, you know what? Their conference may be just as strong. You just haven't seen them. So yeah, it's easy to talk when you haven't seen them, but yeah, SSAC is strong.
Well, Coach, we like to wrap things up with a couple of fun questions. Carly's got her classic she's going to ask, and
I do.
She's going to ask hers second. I'm going to ask mine first, but you're going to answer Carly's first. I think you may have to think about mine for a little. The first ever, and a little bit of trivia for especially our longtime NAISB fans. First ever guest we had on NAISB was Kayla Watkins from Southeastern. Y'all are tremendous friends, obviously. I was just wondering if you could tell us one of your favorite Kayla Watkins stories. Or
I absolutely can. So do you want me to answer it now, or you want me to wait for Carly's?
If you've got it, hit it.
If you've got it, go ahead.
Look, Kayla and I, there's never anyone that you can laugh more with, you can be more serious with. I love Kayla Watkins and everything about her. I love what she stands for. I love all of those things. But I will tell you, I've never seen her as upset as she was in a game that we were playing at home at Southern. There's a picture of it. I'm going to have to send you guys the picture. And she is, you can't, because she's so, Kayla's very competitive, but she's very well spoken. She's so put together. And we were playing a team, I think maybe Western Kentucky. It was a conference game at Southern Miss. And we just kept, our pitcher was just shoving it, and we were not getting the calls. And I will, assistant coaches can't argue. Assistant coaches can't say things that. And I had given the umpire the blues, and finally gotten to the point to where I knew it was time for me to hush. So I got over there and just started, hey, focus on our team, hey, we got this, and do this. And I remember turning around, I've got the team in a huddle, and and Kayla is pointing her finger, and she came back over, and I said, Kayla, you can't do that as the assistant. She said, we look so much alike, they thought it was you, and she said, so I told them exactly what I was thinking. She said, but you're probably going to get a call, so she loved the fact that she was able to say what needed to be said. And but we have people tell us that all the time. Hey, I had a friend of mine, I didn't know you were coaching at Southeastern now. I saw you on TV. And I was like, no, it's not me. So, but I know her.
Y'all do it like y'all could be sisters or cousins or something, for real. I didn't really even think about it until
I'm going to have to pull up a side-by-side.
Yeah.
They do look very similar, Carly.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well,
that's my favorite one with her. There's lots of good ones, but that's the favorite softball one for sure.
you'll have to send us that picture.
Yeah.
Well, I got two today, so I'll save my normal one for after this one. But you mentioned like just overall how competitive you are.
Mhm.
I consider myself a super competitive person. So if you had to pick one, do you love winning more or do you hate losing more?
Oh,
Mm.
absolutely hate losing more.
Yep.
Because I think you gotta hate to lose more than you enjoy winning, and then that's going to drive you to I hate to lose. Again, I don't mind getting beat if somebody comes in. If we play our best and somebody else gives us their best, and they just come out, then I just think we've run out of innings. We just hadn't had an opportunity to win just. But man, I hate to lose, and I know you do
Yep.
too, Carly. I can see it in your
Oh,
face. I can hear it in your
so
voice.
bad. Even in
But
like the
yeah,
little things at home, I'm like, oh.
I,
Well, Carly,
yes.
I'm gonna flip it on you a little bit here, Carly. How would you have felt more strongly? So, Coach, huge Nebraska fan, we're talking to right here.
Okay.
So last night, if that shot would have gone in for Vanderbilt, how much would you have hated that?
Would have been pissed.
It
It
would have been a bad day,
would have
right?
been a really bad day.
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
night.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think the loathing, the losing, I think that's what drives winning.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think you got to hate to lose more than you like to win.
It's a dang good answer.
Yeah.
All right. I'll hit you with my normal one. So, uh, you're on a road trip, you stop at a gas station. What's your go-to, your drink and your snack?
Oh man, it really depends on where we're going, but 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have a Dr. Pepper Zero. It used to be a Diet Dr. Pepper, now it's a Dr. Pepper Zero, and I am gonna get those caramel rice cake chips because if
Oh,
you're at a Love's or a Bucky's, you can find them. Nowhere else can you find them. So on our road trips, that's where I'm stopping. If they don't have those, probably gonna get some peanut M&Ms. But
those are so
always
good.
Dr. Pepper Zero. If I can find those rice cakes, that's what it is. If not, peanut M&Ms. So, how about yours, Carly? What was yours?
I love a good grape Gatorade
Oh, wow.
or
Okay.
like the Body Armor Lights, the
Uh
peach
huh.
one.
Yeah.
So good. And if I'm gonna do a
You,
snack, I love me some beef jerky.
oh gosh, you got to get that protein in, right?
Yep, yep. And
Yeah.
if I'm going a little crazy, I'm getting some sugar, nerd
Ah,
gummy clusters.
we're gosh, oh my gosh, we're the same
Are we
person, Carly.
soulmates?
Are they not the best candy?
So
Oh
good.
gosh,
Have you
so
tried
good.
the new ones where they're bigger, they're like inflated and there's juice in the middle?
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm still gonna hold to the other ones. I'm the
Yeah,
original kind, but yeah, those just give you a little more punch. My
they're a
son
good
bought those.
change.
They are. They are.
I didn't know those were in the game. I didn't know that Nerds stepped up the game with the extra
Reagan.
juicy.
Only the biggest
Really?
nerd gummy cluster fans would know that.
Oh,
I guess I'm just a casual.
you don't know what you're missing. You got to try it. You got to try it.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least we can agree on the Dr. Pepper, Coach.
Yeah.
It is the S tier soda, zero, regular, cream soda. It doesn't matter. Dr. Pepper does reign supreme over the soda world as far as I'm concerned.
There you go. How about that?
Love it. Well, Coach, thank you so much. It's an incredible interview getting to talk with you. Y'all keep rocking and rolling, and appreciate you dealing with some technical difficulties with us a little bit. But if you got anything, do you want to talk to the NAI softball fans or just Crusader fans? Mike's all yours. If not, we're going to go ahead and send the folks into the work week.
Look, I just want to say thank you for your perseverance. It would have been super easy for you to say, not going to work. Let's just do this another time. But you persevered, and I appreciate it. It has been wonderful talking with you guys. You're just a breath of, there's a lot of fresh air out there, but to see your love and you wanting to grow not only the game of softball, but NAI softball. Thank you for the props that you give our community, our softball community. And man, I just want to say to William Carey fans, we're at home for a few weeks. Finally, we've been on the road for a month, and man, we would love to have all of you out at Joe and Nancy's place. That's what we call our field, Joseph and Nancy Field. So we call it Joseph and Nancy's place. So come on out and watch us play. Thank you guys for having me on tonight. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Wendy Hogue, William Carey, Crusaders, go Crew. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to another episode of NAISB. We'll be back Thursday reacting. We'll have our media poll out. We'll talk a little bit about our media poll and another busy weekend in the NAI softball world. That's Coach Wendy Hogue. That's Carly Fitzer. I'm Reagan Harrell. That was a pretty good episode of NAISB.